Hey folks, welcome back to Green Iron TV. It's finally spring here in Michigan. Stuff's starting to get nice outside. Means I can get down here in the garage and start working on stuff without freezing my butt off. So one of the things we're slated to do is we're going to start work on the M38a1. So this is my 1953 M38a1. It's an older restoration, and it is one of the only vehicles in my fleet that I did not do the restoration on. I actually bought it this way, added a few little things over the time since I've had it, but it's to that point now that I want to go ahead and restore it to my standards. And so there's a few little bits and pieces around the body that need to be addressed. It needs some good paint, needs proper markings, some good little odds and ends like that. But the first thing we're going to tackle is the exhaust leak. Like we showed in the last video, I went ahead from Quarter Ton Military, ordered a new exhaust manifold and the new downpipe. And so on this episode, that's what we're going to be tackling. We're going to go ahead, get that manifold and all that stuff off, and hopefully it all comes off in one nice easy piece. Doesn't give us too many problems. I've gone ahead, soaked the bolts overnight with PB Blaster. Hopefully it helps loosen them up and should make it a little easier for them to come off. So that's what we got going on today. So sit back, watch, enjoy. Make sure you like, leave a comment, and if you haven't already, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We appreciate every little bit that everybody does for us, and hitting that subscribe button really helps us out. So go ahead and do that, and stay tuned. Okay, folks, so this is that old exhaust manifold, and it's a little hard to see, but we are getting some leakage here around where it mounts there in the center. And the big thing we've been getting is a leak here where the manifold mounts to the downpipe. And I've done some work previously on this a couple years ago, trying to get this to flatten out, except the gasket, and it just hasn't been working out. So that's why we're going to replace it all. This upper leak here, probably I could cure it with taking it off, running it across the planer, and putting some fresh gaskets on. But since we have that brand new exhaust manifold, we're going to go ahead and swap those out and get this changed out for the brand new one. So, okay, folks, first bolt here. And I'm worried about this one because it doesn't want to come loose. So we're going to give it a lot of pressure here. And imagine that. It snapped that stud off. One of the good reasons why I did buy that new exhaust manifold, I had a feeling that getting that stud out was going to be a real tough one. So first problem. Luckily, it's easy to solve, and that we don't have to worry about it. All right, next we're going to get this back one. Well, we got it loosened down to the end, and now it doesn't want to come out. So we're probably going to end up breaking this, but I'm going to go ahead and move the camera here a little bit because it's in the way of where I need to be. And this thing's being a bugger. So try and reposition you a little somewhere else. See if that'll give you a view. All right. this seems like it's a good spot, but I'm going to bust a knuckle. Alright, we're being difficult. Hey, look, imagine that. Broke that bolt too. Had a feeling these bolts were going to come out real easy. Probably 60-year-old bolts. They've had their life. They've been through a few heat cycles. So we'll move on. Let's hope those engine studs come out a lot easier. All right. Let's hope these engine studs come out a little better.
That's nice. That one's not pretty easy. No, nice and easy. This one.
You're going to bring the stud, of course. And of course it's going to leak right into that water jacket. Oh, we get the others out. Last one. Just don't have enough to clear this bracket. Oh, come on. Yep. Well, let's take that bracket loose. All right, now we should have the room. Get it pulled off. that and that. All right. So as we look at the bottom here, we can see this is pretty rough. And we can definitely see where we were blown out there. So that's temporary. Stick that bolt in there. Slow down this water. And we'll then get this stud apart so that we can use it as a stud, not like a bolt. So we'll get that done. Alrighty folks, well, we did several tricks trying to get the nut off this stud so that we could stick it back in where the water jacket feeds through, so that when we go to apply our gaskets, we don't have that water seeping through. Unfortunately, that booger would not come off with any of the tricks I used. So we ran to the store real quick and got a new stud, new nuts, and so we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna install that into our block and get that all set. Because this is going into the water jacket, I am going to put a little bit of thread tape on it just to help make sure we have that good seal and we don't end up with any leaks. So move this temporary one I stuck back in there. Alright, now let's thread this new one right on in there. Alright. We're going to grab another nut. We're gonna use that as a lock nut. And be able to tighten this in a little bit. Alright. Now, you should be able to back these nuts out. All right, have that new stud all installed nice, and we should be sealed up and not leaking. So now that we have that set, one of the things we are going to do, we're going to take a little super clean, and we're going to spray around this area, and we're going to scrub this area a little bit. Clean up all the gunk. Alright, so we're going to go ahead, we're going to let that super clean soak in for a little bit there, and then we're going to wipe this all down, get this area all cleaned up. Alright, let that soak a little. Now we're going to wipe and clean that up. And it's amazing how good a job the super clean does of getting all that grime, soot, and stuff off of here. That way we can get this surface cleaned and prepped and ready to go back together. Clean up our little bit of mess where all that antifreeze ran down the side of the block. All right. All right, last thing we're gonna do is spray a little brake clean. Right there where those mounting surfaces are. Get that all nice and clean and prepped. And we're gonna get that all set for the night. Alrighty folks, that's gonna do it for this episode. Part 1 of removing the exhaust manifold downpipe on the 53 M38a1 Jeep. So now that we got this old crusty exhaust manifold off and the downpipe, and you can definitely see where it was leaking around the end there. We're going to go ahead, call it a night, let everything dry up and be ready, and then stay tuned because part 2 will be coming up, and we're going to go ahead and get that exhaust manifold, the new one, all buttoned up and the downpipe hooked up, and hopefully have this Jeep all sealed up. So that'll be coming up in part 2, which will be the next episode here on Green Iron TV. I want to thank everybody for watching, and please remember, like, leave a comment, and if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. Every little bit helps, and we're so appreciative of all our fans out there. So stay tuned. That'll be coming up next once we get to part 2.